fans because we couldn't have done it without them. You know, the first half obviously was flat. We didn't make a whole lot of plays, had no momentum, and then Irvin Charles makes that big play and got the crowd back involved, which was critical. Really proud of our team. They just never stopped believing. That's a good football team. You got to give Minnesota credit. The quarterback is a veteran guy, makes great decisions. They protect him really well, and they play really the way we thought they would. Very proud of our defense. Our defense is under unusual circumstances. I've never seen this before. We got 7 linebackers that are out. 7. If you count everybody in our program that is linebacker, Kabinda, Naeem, B. Smith, Jan, Cooper, Varanek, and Bell. All of those guys play Mike linebacker. Manny Bowen has never played a play of Mike linebacker ever. And he goes in the game. We kept it really vanilla and actually played really well. But I'm proud. I'm proud of our defense, and I'm proud of Brett Pry because he's been in a really, really challenging situation. And those guys just battled. I'm proud of Jordan Smith, who hasn't played a whole lot of football in the last 2 years. We lose Christian Campbell, early in the game. He goes in, gets a huge interception at a critical time that we needed it. I don't know if I've ever heard of this. Marcus Allen had 22 tackles in the game. I don't know if I've ever heard of that before. Tyler Davis with his 17th consecutive field goal. Cam Brown and Connor McGovern with their first starts, both true freshmen. And then Trace McSorley, just really, kept his cool, made some amazing plays, gave guys a chance to make plays. Pressure falling off his back foot, lays it out where guys like Chris Godwin could go make a play for him. So this was a game that we can really grow from. There's a lot of things, obviously, that we got to get cleaned up. But the most important thing is these guys believing in themselves and believing in what we're doing and how we're doing it. So that was big. And they're having a great time in the locker room. I wish I could take you guys in this locker room right now because it is awesome in there. I'm just telling you.
Let's go. Let's go.
You want to go?
Let's go.
Yeah, it's the problem is I couldn't take everybody in because the dress isn't appropriate right now. But they are partying. Have you guys ever seen the movie Soul Plane? Yeah, that's what it looks like in there. That's what it looks like in there. They're going crazy.
We'll open up to questions. Raise your hand.
Chris, you're like, shut up, right? Stop talking.
James, I'm curious if you've ever been around a game that had that kind of 180-degree turn in the middle of it, and do you recall anything like that?
I don't know. I think the fact that we were at home helped us. We have got to start faster. There's no doubt about it. I mean, that's been a thing all year long. So we're going to do some things that I've done in the past that we haven't done here that I'm going to do moving forward in practice. So, I've seen us battle and play really good in the second half. Maybe not enough to swing the game. But yeah, it was like 2 completely different games. I think the most important thing was, like I said, we made some plays in the second half. Irv's play was huge. I mean, he's not even looking for the ball, and all of a sudden he turns around at the last second and it just kind of hits him in the chest. And then he's just so big, strong, and fast that he goes and makes a play. We tried to get him back in later, and he's still celebrating on the sideline with his buddies, and we're trying to get him in the game. And that just kind of is an example of our youth. That these things we just got to continue to grow, and tonight's an opportunity to do that. But yeah, I don't know if I've been a part of some unbelievable comebacks before. I don't know if I've been a part of a first half and second half and then overtime like it was tonight.
James, how much did this program, these players, these coaches need this kind of win? And also, Trace McSorley stepping up in the pocket. Has that been something that you guys have been talking to him about because he did it a lot today?
Yeah, I think it was definitely something that our players needed. Everybody needed. There's no doubt about it. And you kind of have some moments as a program. I remember, when I first became a head coach, we had a game against UConn that we won early on, and it kind of built a lot of confidence in everybody. And kind of went from there, and we needed that. I think we definitely needed that, here. And I think tonight's one of those nights. There's no doubt about it. I thought Trace did a great job of stepping up in the pocket. There was a few times where he stepped up and kind of was waiting to throw, and he put the ball back, and they were close. to being strip sacks from behind. Then that earlier in the year we got a couple of them. But he does a good job. He can run, but he's not one of these guys that just takes off. He keeps his eyes downfield and made a number of big plays in those situations. So I'm proud of him. I'm also proud of Tommy Stevens. I think Tommy's got a very bright future, and he's been great on the sideline. He's been great at practice. We got a good situation there. Two guys that we believe in.
James, did you expect that perhaps the read option in overtime might pop open given the way Trace had been running the ball? And also, what does it say about Saquon that he was able to hang with it after he was kind of bottled up for an entire half?
Yeah, I'm really proud of Saquon because he's handled adversity, and you've never seen bad body language from him, ever. He's not having the big games of statistics that I think people anticipated or expected. You haven't seen him once. You haven't seen him once, bad body language, hang his head, nothing. Been a great team player. And just keeps persevering and just keeps waiting for opportunities. And when it came, he made a big play for us. And that's what happens when you keep a great attitude and you just keep believing and being a great teammate. And he did that tonight. So I'm really proud of him. I'm super, super proud of him.
Hey, James, over here. Trace ran for 73 yards today. He had run for 32 in the previous 4 games. How much did his running open up your offense, and was that an emphasis at all this week?
I think those stats are a little deceiving because the biggest difference in this game is we didn't have the sacks. And in college football, those sacks come off rushing yardage for the whole offense as well as for the quarterback. But yeah, I think he had a couple plays where he stepped up and took off. Obviously, the one at the end of the game was huge. We had a situation we're trying to decide there at the end. Do we take one more shot to the end zone that we took to Chris Godwin? He just kicked a field goal there rather than risk it. But we had enough time because they called timeout to say, look, we're going to take one more shot. Don't do anything that's going to take points off the board. Don't take a sack. We didn't have a timeout, and then go out and kick the field goal. So yeah, I think obviously his rushing yardage was important, but I think probably the bigger factor was us. We did a better job of protecting him. And I think he did a good job of stepping up in the pocket, too, like you guys said.
James, what do you think the hit on Joey did for the emotions of your team? It looked like everybody was pretty fired up on the sidelines. What were your thoughts on that?
I want to make sure you guys clearly understand what I'm saying here. I don't want it to be misinterpreted. I think because Joe Julius has been such a factor in getting down and making tackles that people are treating him differently. So I think that's a credit to Joey and his toughness. But I do think that play fired everybody up. Fired everybody up. There's no doubt about it. But Coach said something to me after the game that he's going to take care of that. And I appreciate him saying that. It's an emotional game played by passionate, emotional people. But I'm glad Joey's okay. And I'm also impressed that he's built a reputation that you better deal with our kicker, or he'll get down there and make tackles.
James, could you, not to be a wet blanket, but could you discuss a couple?
But you're going to
well,
anyway.
A couple situations at the end.
Can you do me a favor though? Could you ask me like a positive question first, and then go to the other one? Just something. Please.
I don't think.
Start with something positive.
Congratulations on the win.
No, question. Something that I can answer positive instead of being a wet blanket.
You're taxing me.
Okay, go ahead.
I was just curious about the 4th and goal, the field goal there. What went into that, and also if you could address at the end of the half, calling timeout there, which gave Minnesota a little more time.
Yeah.
Have a nice day then.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate the pleasantries. Well, first of all, I get it. I mean, we go for it early in the game on 4th and 1, and it doesn't work, so it's a bad decision. Later in the game, we have the ball on the goal line on 4th and 1, and we don't go forward, and it's a bad decision. We have not been great at consistently running the ball in short yardage situations. So early on in the game, I want to be aggressive. We're right kind of on the fringe of his range. If you look at our statistics and kind of where he's hitting everything, but we're right about his fringe of where he's consistent. So we felt like we're in a situation we got a big, strong, powerful back. We got one-on-one with the safety, and we weren't able to get a yard. So it doesn't work, and it's a bad decision. and then we go take the points at the, on the 1 yard line, and people feel like, we should have gone for it. I get that. That's part of it. You get it and you're a genius. You don't, and you're going to get critiqued. I get that.
Time for two more. Audrey?
Going off of Dave's question about fast starts and doing more, what specifically do you have in mind that you guys have done before to kind of get past that? And also the third down numbers, when you look at those again, anything jump out to you there about ways you can improve that?
Yeah, two things. I'll tell you guys come to practice typically on Wednesdays, right? So I'll talk to you guys. I don't want to tell you guys before I talk to the coaches and the team and kind of go through the plan of what we're going to do. But it's just something we've done in the past in practice, some competitive periods earlier on. And then third down, we got to be better. It goes back to the two things that we're not consistent. That's what shows up on third down. We're not consistent right now running the ball, and we're not consistent protecting. We were better tonight, but those two things, that's what third down's all about. I think our receivers are talented enough to get open if we give them time. We got to be able to run the ball more consistently, and we got to protect more consistently. That's what third down is all about, and we're not doing those two areas really well on normal downs, let alone third down.
James, you mentioned Tyler, hitting 17 in a row now. What can you say about his approach, and then how much confidence you guys as a coaching staff have in Tyler to go out there and make that kick?
I didn't even talk to him before the kick. A lot of times head coaches go over and they say something to him. I don't say anything to him. I talk to the snapper and the holder. Do your job, because that guy will. He's money, and he's just an older, mature kid. Just consistently does his job at practice every single day. He's the same guy all the time, and he's confident right now. So couldn't be more happy with him.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, guys.